This is We're Gonna Make You Watch.
Hey everybody, welcome to We're Gonna Make You Watch. Brian and Isaiah are here, and once again we have another movie review for you. This time we went and saw Maxxxine. It's been out for a little bit. This is another situation where once again I actually have no idea what Isaiah thinks of the movie, and he doesn't really know what I think of it either. So we're gonna get into it. Isaiah, what do you think of Maxxxine, buddy?
So 80s. This movie is all about the 80s, just like the other ones. X was about the 70s, and then Pearl was more like the 1920s and 30s kind of aesthetic with regards to how movies were done at that point. So this one was definitely an 80s baby kind of movie, especially being born in the 80s and stuff, and really my love of movies comes from mostly 80s stuff. This was a great movie for me. It had so much. It had a great soundtrack. The look of everything, it very much screamed 80s.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I did love the fact that this movie, they went more the giallo route too, so to kind of differentiate from the other two with the different avenues that they went. This one went more giallo, which I love. I love the giallo type of movies, so this was great for that. And it was great to revisit the Maxxxine Minx character and see where she's at that point in time in her life, and to see how she's kind of risen through the adult industry and now is breaking into the big time now and getting a chance to star in a movie. And I love kind of how that whole story came together and whatnot, and just kind of where they went and all these different characters that they introduced in this. I mean, there were so many people in this movie too, because you got like Kevin Bacon, Giancarlo Esposito. I mean, there's just so many different people in this movie. It was great, and it was great to see all these different types of characters and these really sleazy slime ball characters.
Oh, so many scumbags in this movie, dude.
It was so good. It was a great time. This was another one because I know we just finished Long Legs, and I talked about how that one, like, it didn't feel like it was that long of a movie. It was the same thing with this one. When this movie got started, really and it didn't stop. Like, there was no lulls in this movie whatsoever. That's one thing I will give it, is that it moved at such a great pace that it felt like, oh, this movie's over with. It couldn't have been 2 hours long, And now, out of the three movies between X, Pearl, and this one, is this one the greatest out of the trilogy? No. Is it probably the weakest? Probably. But at the same time, that's not really saying that's a bad movie, because I think all three of these movies are fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
So it's just hard to kind of gauge, which ones are better than the other sometimes, with just different aspects, because they're such different movies. But, just as kind of looking at everything kind of above the board, I would feel that this is probably the weakest out of the three. But again, that's not really putting it down. So
one of them has to be.
Right.
When you're weighing those three movies, one of them has to be. I think I tend to agree with you. This movie is clearly the worst of the franchise. With that being said, this is a good movie.
Yeah,
this is a super good movie. I really enjoyed this a lot. I think that it does have some minor issues. I think that this movie's so many films have third act issues. I don't think it quite sticks the landing very well, but it definitely addresses everything that it wanted to address when they were making this movie, and it does it very well.
Yep.
This movie takes place in the 80s. It's all about the excess of the 80s. It deals with all that fantastic shit. There ain't a good character in this fucking movie except for the poor guy from the video.
Yes.
And honestly, I fucking love that. I love that. It's very Hollywood. this movie. It's very Hollywood.
Yep.
And I really really liked it a lot. Mia Goth once again is absolutely amazing. She has really really shined in all three of these films, particularly Pearl.
Yes.
I think Pearl's probably my favorite one out of the franchise.
I was going to ask you what you thought your favorite one was, and
I would
agree that Pearl's probably the best out of all three.
I think so. I think it is. I think it goes Pearl X Maxxxine. I don't really think that there's any argument. Come at me, because I'll tell you you're wrong. Now, with that being said, all these movies are good. This is a strong trilogy.
Yes.
And apparently Ty West has ideas for a fourth.
Which would be fucking great if he did.
And if they nail it though, because let's face it, some of these franchises start to lose a little bit of gas when you start installing a few too many sequels in there. That being said, I'll see every fucking one of them.
Oh, for sure.
because sign me the hell up. But yeah, this is a good movie, man. I really liked it a lot. Mia Goth carries it very well. Kevin Bacon is fantastic in it and Giancarlo Esposito is always nice to see. It's and you're right, you nailed it earlier. This movie has a fucking banger of a soundtrack. So if you're a fan of 80s music or just 80s in general, the soundtrack alone is a reason to watch this movie, because the music is so fucking good. And it looks so 80s. They nailed the 80s aesthetic in this. I really liked this a lot. I think it was a strong potential finish to a trilogy. Didn't quite nail the landing for me, but they came very close. So I look forward to anything Ty West and Mia Goth do. It seems like they kind of got a pretty good chemistry together.
I think they work very well together.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what they can do if they do come out with a fourth film. Because I think Mia Goth actually helped with the story with this too.
Yeah, I believe she helped with writing this one specifically, and possibly even Pearl. But I mean it's so hard just because, like, how do you top that monologue from Pearl? I mean, that alone.
They give her another one.
Yeah.
Not as long, obviously. But
right. And it was right at the beginning of the movie.
Right at the beginning of the movie, yeah.
But I mean, it's so hard to top something like that, and just how everything with Pearl just really flowed so well together. It was going to be a very hard movie to beat with this one. And I think they really did very, very well with, coming off of Pearl and going into this one. And I mean, I can't wait to see what's next for both Ty West and Mia Goth, and hopefully they work together again, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like the it's a better version of Tim Burton and Johnny Depp. That sounded mean. I didn't mean it to sound so fucking mean, but that did sound really shitty. It's more appealing to me.
Right.
Oh man. All right, good stuff. Well, let us know what you guys think of Maxxxine in the comments, and thank you guys so much for checking.
Well, we got to rate it still.
Oh yeah, we haven't graded it. Yeah, what would you give this?
So with this one, I'm probably going to give it the same rating as Long Legs. I think it's a very solid A- for this one.
There you go. I like it. Yeah, I'm right there with you. That's exactly where I would sit. I think this is a solid movie.
Yeah.
So hell yeah. All right, A- from both of us. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Thank y'all so much for checking out the video, and we will catch you in the next episode.